All right, we got the VDD brand, just the letters VDD star right here. I showed this to you a week ago about, in use, unboxed it, set it up. Now we're just going to kind of tear it down or break it down, show you what it looks like inside. So I'm going to try to do these kind of videos more as well over the next year so you can kind of see how these work. And if there's going to be anything you can do to upgrade them or change them. So really liked how this looked, really liked the scar look. Wish it had a little better performance. So I thought, let's open it up and let's see what's going on here. So I didn't take a video of myself undoing all the screws because I thought you'd be bored with that. But I always use this Hodo screwdriver, electric screwdriver, I use all the time. And it's primarily just to take all these apart. And then, I've got some little screwdrivers that I like to use as well, manual screwdrivers from Ulsa Tools when I need to get in there because sometimes this doesn't reach right or I'm trying to be extra careful and I go with a manual one. So I got all those screws out so we can show you what's going on. Obviously this just slides off so we can move that to the side, as does the magazine. So when you take this off first, this piece is separate, all right? And then you've got this long piece right here, right? So there was no reason to unscrew the rail because I knew it was just attached to this piece. So we'll move those there. The other thing with the magazine release, you're going to have this little kind of button and this piece, and then the spring that goes on that. That spring looks like this, okay? So this, is the piece that goes on right here and allows you to slide it back and cock it. That has this spring attached to it, and then it's attached up here to this. Okay, so that's what's going on with those pieces, so that you remember where they are. And then this is the piece that goes back. What I'm going to do is first I'll show you, you've got your trigger right here. Okay, we're going to take the trigger out. You can see it's got a hole here, and then it's actually got a hole on a little lever that moves with the motor or the gearbox. And then you've got the two holes. So that's what you need to line up when you put it back together. Here's your power switch. So these all kind of go in the same way on all the blasters I've seen. So we'll go ahead and take that off. So we can see the battery wire, which is wired, up to here. And then behind it is this little on-off switch as well that allowed you to switch between the safety and that, well, primarily I think it was just between safety. Yeah. So that's what this is right here, is that safety. And this piece basically goes right here, lines up with this. And so then when you do the switch on the other side here, you'll see that move, right? So that lets you, it moves it up and down. So that's how that works, okay? And obviously when the gearbox is in front of it, that's what's putting the pressure on this. So that's how that works. So in case you take that off and you're not sure what to do with it when you go to put it back together. All right, so we can take the motor out of here. So looking at the gearbox, you can see again, it's a magazine loading, sealed gearbox. It does have screws, but they're not intended to be taken apart. And if you take them apart, putting them back together, there's a bunch of gears in here, getting back in the right order is unlikely. And you're probably not going to find a diagram for those because, again, they're not made to be taken apart. So I don't advise it. You're not going to, converting this to all metal gears, if you could find those that would work with it, and changing the spring is going to make minimal difference for this blaster. But this just lets you see what this looks like. All right, so that is the motor. And like I said, I showed you the different connections there. I thought maybe I could get lucky and put an Anstoy AK-47 gearbox and motor in here, just kind of looking at it because it was a magazine fed. But since this isn't really true to size, it's a little smaller, then the magazine is just not far enough out. So there's no, it just would not be worth trying to modify this to fit this in there. Then we could get some better performance out of it. So after opening up and looking at it, I don't recommend that you take the time to do this. There's not going to be really any big enhancements or changes you can make with this one. So I would just go ahead and leave it as is. If you like the looks of it, get it for that, and just know it's not a high performance blaster, and you didn't really probably expect that in the first place either. But this is the case with a lot of these on Amazon in the United States. There's not a lot you can do to upgrade them. So just something to keep in mind if you're looking to do that. There's definitely certain ones you can get, but you need to lean towards like the M4A1, even the AK-47, the new Dark Hand G36, which I've shown you, which is the same as a splatter ball. Those will have some different upgrades you can do, plus a lot of 3D printer parts you can make for them as well. And then if you start ordering stuff from Australia or China, you can get all kinds of crazy blasters that you can do all kinds of crazy things too, if that's what you're searching to do. Now, if you ever have problems with this blaster and you need to open it up, that's a little different. But really, the only thing you're going to be able to achieve, because like I said, you don't want to be opening this up. I mean, if it's dead and you just want to open it up for the heck of it, that's fine. Just know you probably won't be able to fix it. But you can open it up and check for loose connections. So that can certainly happen where solder points fall off, or solder points here fall off if they just weren't, for some reason they didn't get a good solder when they were in the factory. So occasionally I've seen that happen when you've got one, when you go to pull a trigger and there's just no anything, right? There's no sound at all. But if you hear some type of grinding sound, some type of rapid sound, some type of firing sound that doesn't sound right, typically there's a gear in here that's been broken, and then you're pretty much done for at that point. All right, so I hope you guys like this. Hopefully you learned something. And if you got any other videos you're looking for, let me know, and I'll try to accommodate you.